So it has been a little while since we were here last. Does anyone want to go over what happened last time on this lovely island paradise you guys have found yourselves in?
So, last time we parted ways with the lizard folk man, Ror Dalaka, and he was a charming fellow, and we sent him off to, I think, make a trade deal with Mishann, and, recover the best he can. We may see him later, I assume. He told us about the place where he comes from, which is led by some kind of warlord or chiefdom. I'm looking forward to seeing that. But we continued upon our way, finding the Spring Blossoms tribe of Zendrick Drow. And as part of our earning respect trade negotiations, we were asked to fix the pens for, I don't remember what they called them, but their herd of
Gentle Bellows.
hadrosaurs. Gentle Bellows, thank you.
There you go.
Some of them had escaped, some of them had been eaten by spinosaurs, and the pen was ruined. So we split up to fix the pen and find the creatures, which was surprisingly successful. Purser's not great with animals, and I don't think Pick is great with things that are 200 times her size.
Scary
But we
cows.
got it done. Yeah. And I don't recall if we had actually found the second one yet, or if we had just set out to go find it.
We got them both.
Yeah,
No,
you guys got them both.
We got both.
Okay. Excellent. We got them back then.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very solid. Really, the only thing lacking was with having found all the surviving ones, you had proven yourselves to the leader of the tribe, and he, Kaxar, was willing to, seriously discuss trade. He was initially just kind of fulfilling his end of the bargain until Purser and um, Ludger both demonstrated that uh, you guys had access to metal tools and just things in general that wasn't limited to dungeon diving, basically, or looting old ruins. At which point he became much more genuinely interested. And so you think that there is a potential for trade there.
Now, of course, Corvaran goods are much higher quality than anything these savages could get.
Well,
God
sure.
damn you.
Sure. But
There's the racism.
You're welcome.
but yeah, there's possibly an element of that. Like I said, it's not that they don't have access to things like magical, pretty impressive magical equipment. It's just they don't make most of it. They get it out of ruins. So, yeah,
I'm
savages,
feeling
however you want
that
to phrase that.
I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to end up posting that at least once a game.
Of course. But yeah, you guys had set that up, and I think Hick wanted to talk to Kaxar, but it was a little vague. I don't remember what Pick wanted to ask.
About he's the one that interacted with the priest from Zendrick? Look. Who offered him stuff with the tribes.
Well, from what you were told, that is a person to talk to about it. Yeah, you're not sure in what capacity he knows, but he might know something.
Yep. Let's see. So he had been given gifts by the mysterious figure, the priest, that told us. And then Kaxar native drow man. He was the one that gave permission for Rosalind to build here. And then also, the sick were healed in the village of the after effects of
That
the.
is true. That's an important thing that I remembered when I was writing stuff, but I didn't remember to add to the recap. Um, your priestess, Satalis, had gone through and sort of cured the lingering effects that came from people who survived the, I believe it's creeping murder is the name of the that they gave the disease that hit them. Yeah, creeping murder, which you know, gives terrible headaches, awful joint pain, and eventually a very painful death. Um, and even for the survivors, they all had like lingering arthritic type. There were a lot of kids, and well, not a lot of kids in general, but of the people who were surviving, a lot of them had kind of an arthritic movement pattern just from their joints were messed up still. So Satalis was able to fix that, and I think that's why you guys decided to stay overnight was so she could cure more people.
Fix more.
Yeah, do more healing, which did
And yeah,
definitely get you guys some brownie points just because they were appreciative. These people are a little like sometimes upsettingly blunt, but they do seem genuinely appreciative when help is given. Um, but yeah, back to my original thing. Did was there What, if anything, did you want to ask Kaxar before the party sets out? It being the
pretty much
second night.
collect all the things he remembered about that priest if he was willing to share it. What he looked like, what his species was, what language they spoke,
Okay.
any symbols he remembered, like if he was
Uh,
willing to give her everything he remembered about that guy.
okay. Okay. Um. Well, then that's he's a little caught off guard at you asking about that, but you guys have rendered aid both above and beyond, and that's possibly a useful relationship to cultivate. So he is willing to entertain your questions. He will say, hmm, "Priest, yes. We did have someone from the mainland come through that was supposedly trying to treat the illness. I don't know if that was true. Frankly, it was rather suspicious, his timing. But he came through. He wore some type of artifact, probably gotten from one of the ruins of the giant folk. Darkened glass around the eyes. And,
It's Did you say shark with a glass around the eyes?
boy, I'm not coming in well. Darkened glass around the eyes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sunglasses.
sunglasses.
yeah.
Not that we
Uh,
would. I don't think we know what that is, but yeah.
Corover, you've heard of them, like people from Corover. That is an occasional thing, usually for races with difficulty in bright light, or sometimes just for fun. But glasses are a thing; they're just not super common. But so he was wearing some type of darkened glass around his eyes. He would come in and uh, he claimed to be from the mainland. He was a drow, which they thought that was probably the darkened glass was to that's not an unknown type of artifact. That was something given out sometimes to drow servants by the giants, things to help them operate in the daylight. Uh, he was from the mainland. That he agrees. At least that's where he said he would be from. And he's thinking. He would say that the man had a uh, strange tendency to he would smoke a lot, like the various he actually they assumed it was the roots from the Talaxin lily, uh, but because that's the main thing people smoke. It's kind of a stimulant, but the smell was pretty foul for it. He figured maybe it was just a bad variant of it or something. They tried to be polite about it. Didn't mention that he smelled like he was smoking awful stuff. But yeah, he was a very suspicious character who showed up. They didn't think it was suspicious at the time, but afterwards, he and some of the survivors of the original clan tried to, oh cool, uh, tried to go and investigate, and that was actually how they ended up stumbling onto the strange hole in the air in Likal. Some of his group tried to go through and investigate. None of them ever came back.
Oh.
He doesn't know what happened to them. But eventually, some strange folk, he himself had passed out nearby and would occasionally check on the hole to see if they would walk back out. But eventually, some strange pale folk came out and asked him a bunch of questions and told him they wanted to try and build something there. He didn't see any harm of it, especially since he didn't have any real claim on Likal, so he said sure. This is very much
Own
like
it.
explorers show up and say, "Can we build here?" It's like, well, I don't live here, so yeah, sure.
Yeah.
He just kind of said yes and left. And then they left for a while, and he says, I suppose that's where your folk came from. No tribes
And the
typically inhabited Likal regardless, so you're not going to offend anyone.
and the priest went through with them and did not come back, right? Went
The
through with the
priest didn't go
explorers
through
going
with
into the
them.
hole.
No, they were looking for him. And when they followed his trail to Likal, found the hole in the air and said, "This looks weird." They went through it. He stayed behind, and nobody who went through came back.
Ah. They tracked him there.
His memory is a little fuzzy at parts of it because he was clearly he was fighting off this plague while they were tracking him. So that's
Oh
part of
God.
why he was left behind, is because he was basically dying.
Jeez. Okay. And then
He got better.
He did.
were his clothes weird, like the outsider's clothes?
He said the clothes were that of a standard priest. They had the proper adornments, scorpion symbols, things like that, like any good priest.
Weird. Okay.
Let's see. Where is it?
And he spoke the native language well?
He did speak Elvish with a bit of a strange accent, but he spoke it very, very smoothly.
Okay.
I'm just looking up to see if there's any more information that he can give. Also, Zach may be joining us.
Yay, Zach.
Yeah,
Yay.
he just got a message. He's finished early, so he might show up. Let's see here.
So every word out of your mouth was lies.
These things
We're
happen.
not,
Yeah.
that we were never going to see you again.
I'm a DM. It's kind of my job to lie. Let's see.
Don't tell them that. You're gonna ruin all my mystique.
But how will they know? How will they know if I'm telling them the truth? Let's see here. Where did I put this? I think he probably does have one more piece of information, useless as it is. Maybe I can't find it. Oh, there it is. I guess I don't have information. Okay. Yeah. Since I can't find it, then this translates as not having anything.
All right.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I can't find it. So if he remembers anything else, he'll be sure to say it. But right now he doesn't.
All right. She is very thankful and returns to whoever is the closest to bother and or hang out with. Probably unlucky
I will-
purser. Or
I will be bothered if it's our, I'll like you see. I see you going towards purser. I'm like, no.
He's been pretty good about it.
Or
He's just,
Purser's probably suffered enough.
I like Pick.
At the
She
moment,
is good
Purser's
scene.
just like trying to look stoic.
he's like, oh god, it's coming back to me, this strange heathen bug.
But
Join
yeah,
join the adventures of our party and Purser's unconscious corpse as they make their way south on the river.
just you wait. Once he levels up enough, then you'll see. Then you'll all see. All right. Let's see. And I don't know what do you say? Be just a couple. Okay. Yeah, but did anybody else want to do anything in the village before you guys set out? It is still fairly early in the day. Oh, it's 8 a.m., so of course it's early.
Not that this would actually have any real mechanical effect, but I would definitely say, like, before we leave, Ludger would take one last look around using his eye as a carpenter to try to get a gist of hardware, specifically hardware that they might use or might need. Like, already off the top of his head, he figured like copper iron wire to help like twist woven fence posts into place and that sort of thing would be definitely something to help sell to these people or trade. But he's, and again, I don't expect you out of character to actually tell me shit. Just part of him
Off
setting
the
up future trade stuff.
Yeah, just looking around, what I can think of would be um, metal hatchets, saws, just things that aren't going to break or don't need to be sharpened as much as an obsidian or otherwise stone tool. That's what comes to mind initially. Nails are always useful, although they're not going to use them much in the construction of how they build their homes. But they could definitely use them for things like fences, stuff like that. The tools in which to shape the way that they live would be more helpful necessarily than like, build your houses our way. Well, our way works, we're good. But tools in which to build their houses, that could be a winning proposition here.
That as well as U-shaped nails, and of course, if Corvair has invented it, barbed wire to help keep a gentle bellows from like breaking through their fences.
Corvair does indeed have barbed wire.
Ah, wonderful. I was about to ask. I was like, I genuinely don't know on that. Okay, barbed wire it is then. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
I,
some
I
Siren ruins that are described as being surrounded by barbed wire fences.
Beautiful. All right. Easy answer. So yeah, Corvair does have barbed wire, and you could sell it so they could keep in their pet dinos. Well, edible
Just
dinos.
just to add, that is a horrific thing to like describe to a bunch of like jungle dwelling nomads. Like you'd have this like sharp fences that hurt to touch. Like, be very careful with them.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's not how you would. The whole thing with barbed wire is, realistically speaking, like it's not razor wire. If you touch it, it doesn't immediately slice your hand open. It's just if you're a several ton retarded animal like a cow or a gentle bellow, pushing up against it kinda is uncomfortable, and you don't want to do it.
Yeah. That's fair.
Well, that's the thing. They
Um,
live next to these several ton animals surrounded by barbed wire.
that's true. Yeah, they like their pen is a bit like more out in the water, but not by a whole lot. So it is pretty close. But yeah, that's definitely something you could sell them on. Also, maybe it would keep, things like enormous finned creatures from bursting out of the water and, you know, just walking through the fence and eating them. That could be another factor.
I was going to say that, as well as the fact that, effectively they can set up a fence and repair broken fences in a fraction of a time.
Yeah. All kinds of conveniences from the modern world, relatively, that you can sell here. But yeah, they're having a hard time really envisioning it, just because it's like, sharp fence. Yeah, we do that already. Like, and then they'll gesture some of the like sharpened stakes, fire sharpened,
Oh yeah,
fire hardened sharp stakes and stuff. But yeah, they're definitely open to learning more about stuff you guys can trade.
yeah,
You're
and
certainly strange enough to have it. They believe that.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the whole thing is, part of this is, basically the first thing is always free to basically, because they have no concept of how useful this shit is until you literally give it to them and demonstrate how it works, and then they see you, erect, say, a line of fences that would normally take them a week in, a day, and that sort of thing.
No, I get you. Yeah, they're willing to humor that part of it, but they definitely like the other stuff. But barring that, you guys can head out on the river.
I would,
Yeah,
before we go, like
go ahead.
to politely inquire with Kaxar as to whether he knows of any place I could find silver, whether by
Silver.
trade or
Okay.
mining.
Well,
Going
And
up,
let's have.
if he doesn't
going
like
for the full
recognize,
conquistador RP, are we?
no.
Let
If
me
he doesn't
roll.
happen to have the like, common word for it, I'll pull some powdered silver out of my pouch and show him, just to make
Yeah,
sure he
like
knows what I'm talking about.
he got it pretty quick. His comment is a little rough, but in between you asking it and showing it, he's like, oh, right. Let's see if he can remember any ruins or just sites that might have it. Okay.
Many of my religious rites require it, and it will be a great protective boon for our settlement.
Okay. Yeah, he hears that and he's, he does kind of like nod in cautious respect when you mention religion, just because he doesn't know your religion. He's sure it's probably as strange as you are. There's no reason to be like unsubtle about that. So religious, yes. Well, for that, he takes like a pinch of it and kind of like squints at it. It is. Hmm, the only time I have seen it with this shine to it, besides on the on the surface of the water when the sun hits, is the Soltier sometimes make use of it. They use it in some of their. They try to. They would sometimes try to impress with putting it on much of their armor and such.
Can you repeat that name for me again?
Let me at least try and pronounce it correctly.
Or,
It's the
were you referring
Firebinder
to the
drow.
Solitar?
Solitar, yeah, there we go. Solitar.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We'll say, well, you know what? Well, in this one, we'll say it was his common being Solitar. Yeah. So yeah, he'll just say direct translation Firebinder, but yeah, the Solitar drow sometimes have. You can see he just dislikes even mentioning the name, but it seems
Many
like they may have
thanks.
some.
See, ordinarily I would say flame watch over you, but knowing just that passing knowledge that like Stormreach has of the Solitar, I'm gonna try to avoid that with the natives wherever I can.
That's
Just
probably
say,
why.
just say the irony of like a reverse Cortez, where instead of like, oh, these are the gods, it's like, hey, let me tell you about your religion. That coincidentally is basically st- vaguely familiar to like our arch enemies.
Exactly.
I'm sure that can't go.
Well, to his credit, he is a wizard / paladin, so he had the foresight to not bring up flame a whole lot. So yeah, with that, you guys are free to go. And before you do, like he does kind of walk out with you guys to see you off because you've proven to be pretty honorable guests. And he does sort of glance at Bemi before just like saying to all of you, and we have no wish for conflict with the Mother of Mirrors. You will tell her this, yes?
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. I got you.
Good. And yeah, he just kind of like warily once again glances at Bemi, and you guys are free to hop back in your boat. Also, hello, Zach.
Hello.
Howdy.
I see how it is. Big voice actor doesn't have time to hang out with us anymore.
There was a poll on who would get a chance to take the piss, but yeah.
That's fair.
So yeah, so far the party was just asking some stuff and trying to sweeten the pot more on potential trade things and asking for some details about silver. But yeah, you guys with that can head back out on the river with your trusty, well, your very sturdy boat. And yeah, your next settlement stop would be the settlement of Telbeck with, let's see, the tribe of the Soul Speakers, who are a little bit odd, but they're right now, if you follow the river, take about 6 days, about 130 miles. But that's doable. And yeah, that you kind of slowly start drifting downriver. Now that you're going south, the river narrows, current picks up. Um, both either or, probably pick, honestly, would be more familiar with this. You remember that the river will slow down again when you reach the swamp proper. Just kind of slows down, goes back to being meandering, or just kind of blending in with the swamp till it's hard to see where the current really is for a lot of it. But the upside here is that since you're going with the current, you guys can enjoy a break from the rowing that you've been enduring as you're just sort of drifting downstream. But you do, I'd say, after about an hour of this, for those of you from Corvair, it looks kind of like a beaver dam up ahead. Stretching across the water, mounds of sticks and debris piled up and slowing the flow. But instead of mud, silk seems to be holding the structure together. And unlike a typical beaver dam, there is a point where the dam allows water to flow through. Unless it was broken from a storm, it does seem deliberate.
Ready my
Like-
weapons.
Fascinating.
Would a nature check be in order, DM?
Probably, yeah. Bemi or Pick, either one.
I got a 2 pick. A +2.
I'm saying like either. Sorry, both of you can roll. That's
Oh,
independently could have.
Okay. Don't have to assist one another.
Nope. So an 11 from Bemi. Bemi, this is something tugging at your memory, but you're not real familiar. And Pick, did you want to roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
Not better.
you guys aren't sure. Yeah.
But it's, I mean, just the basics of living in the wild. It looks like a place where you would funnel prey. It'd be easy
Yeah,
to
that's
catch
a
if they
fair
went through
bet.
there.
Yep.
I'm sure it's nothing.
What? Has it been nothing yet?
We've been out on this river for days and nothing's happened.
Everything's happened.
Eyes got bitten. Or bugs that bit her eyes. But yeah, what do you guys want to do? It's not such a strong current that you're like being swept towards it, but probably you would have to decide what
Do
you
we
want
have
to do
to?
about it.
Do we have to go through that in order to continue?
To continue on the boat, probably you could like kind of land and all of you try and like haul the boat on your backs and just kind of walk around it and try and find a good spot to put it back in. All kind of options.
I mean, regardless, I know Bemi would want to. We don't want to run into it. We want to know more about it before we start going down the river some more. So I think we should at least get the raft off on the side of the river, investigate this giant spider silk dam.
Okay. It's not huge, but yeah, that's fair. Let's
Could
see
also
here.
try burning it.
Yep, fireworks. I like fire.
Have you tried burning things in a river?
No,
Oh,
Can we
you don't have to
investigate
worry
this
about.
thing first? That's all I'm asking. I just want to investigate it. Anything weird that I don't recognize, I feel like is worth investigating before we just charge in.
Okay. Yeah, these are all valid things.
I thought that you.
Let me make sure the boat is. So you guys wanted to try and dock on, over here or something?
That would be best, I think.
Okay.
Didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, it's been pretty easy. You haven't really needed to do anything up until now. Bemi, give me a water vehicles check with let's say dexterity.
Yeah.
Just to see if you like slam into something as you.
So good.
What?
Wow.
Why?
Alright, so which side are you aiming for?
Straight into. Just straight into this thing now.
No, I mean you could still aim for either of these. It's just a matter of how rough it is when you land. Like if you just like slam into shit.
Bemi?
Getting ready to roll my
Bemi!
dexterity check.
Guys, I got good news and bad news. We're gonna end up getting on land, but I dropped the oar.
That is fair. So
just it floating away downstream.
it actually is. It's just slowly floating towards that dam. But you guys do end up on, we'll say, this side. Unless
Can pick Flutter after it and just kind of fish it
you
out of the
yeah,
water and drag it back.
It's going
Okay.
pretty decent speed, but yeah, you could flutter after it.
I'm gonna
Okay.
guess it's got
catch up
wings.
to it about here. Like about here is where it, like you can move yourself.
Okay.
But that's about where you would catch up to it.
Okay. Then she would just try to grab it and drag it back to the shore.
Give me an yeah, well, let's see, average or yeah, I don't know. Just for funsies, you're going to be able to do it either way, but this is for style. Give me an athletics check to see how like flawlessly you're able to drag it back to shore. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah,
I'm
you're
really
able
good
to
at
just
catching things like
pluck
that.
it out
I
of the
guess.
water and just flutter back to the shore.
Purser
Guys are
jumps
rolling
onto
high when it
shore and
matters.
dusts himself off.
Yeah, there's a kind of a squish as your boots sink into the mud, but it's not like
Ugh.
marshy yet. But yeah, it is, riverside.
If this
She, like-
ends up being nothing, I'm going to be very annoyed.
She excitedly hands back the oar to whoever's.
Thank you. You're always annoyed. So I don't see how it's any different.
She's
See,
go
there
get
goes again. There's the heavy sigh.
Just ignore him. He's having a hard time.
Angrily stomps off towards the dam, making squishing sounds as he goes.
This is nothing. You should have seen the trenches.
You and your trenches. Shut up, Karn.
Maybe you need a trench. Do you need like alone time or something? We can make you one.
Pick is grabbing the biggest leaf she can find over here.
Okay.
Or
That's
carry
fair. Okay.
and fly with.
Oh,
And
all
then
right.
drag it back over here.
Okay.
And like a boat, she puts it in the water to go between those things.
It floats floats by them. Yeah.
She
Or through
watches
them, excuse me.
intently.
Yep. Give me an investigation check while you're watching intently. Let's see here if that is enough to spot any potential traps or something. Let me look. You do spot some. Like nothing happens to it, and you don't see anything like suspicious. There's just all these branches sticking out into the water. And then, like, your little, well, big eyes pick up on the fact that there is, like, some of those branches are, like, really long and, like, is that seaweed? No, they're just kind of hairy. That's weird. And then, like, one of them pulls in,
Ugh.
like, moves on its own.
She makes disgusted, loud chittering noises, looks like she's really distressed, and flies back to them. I think it is a big thing with legs that look like seaweed that is hairy.
Okay, so we're gonna walk around this. That's what ahoy. Ahoy
Yeah.
that.
She rapidly wiggles all four of her arms and just goes, hairy seaweed in their heads. And then tries to send them a picture of what it was.
I would be willing to re-entertain the idea of fire.
Oh, I don't know. Have you ever tried burning things on a river?
I have, which is why
Okay.
I knew it would be difficult for no
Completely in
reason.
character laughter.
But if it is to clear away such a creature as this seems to be, then I think the expenditure of time would be worth it.
Why do you say it like it's automatically evil? It's just something that
Did I say evil?
you said creature.
Yes. I don't make fun of your accent.
Is asshole an accent now?
Oh, hold on.
Of course.
Where is it?
All right,
Where is
so while this very productive line of conversation is happening, what do you guys want to do? Like there is all this water flowing, and you're picking on the wizard boy. What would you like to do?
So do we see any more movement off of this dam?
You don't. Nope. It's just a dam. Like I said, it could be a beaver dam if not for the whole like silk thing. It's excited about all kinds of things. Like who knows? Could be mistaken.
we go?
Pick is just going to go get some more, like, little smaller leaves and then just go by and kind of drop them occasionally, flying up high, drop them occasionally to land in the webs around the thing. Because when you play with a spider web, sometimes they're
Is
like, ooh,
it-
what's that?
Is it one big thing or a bunch of little things?
Like is the dam made of one big thing? I'm confused.
No, is the dam when she drops the leaves, is it one big thing or is it a bunch of little things?
I think
A
she
bunch of
means the
little things.
creatures.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pick, you're free to tell her what you like. You saw big leg.
I saw a big, hairy seaweed leg.
It doesn't strictly imply individuality, though.
She's going to go drop little stuff over it, kind of like, just to see if there's any movement.
Yeah, just dropping debris onto this. Yeah.
Well, it's like when you want to see if there's a spider in a spider web and you drop in, like,
I
little
get
thing
it.
that
I get
disturbs
it.
the web.
It's
She's
just
like, is it
amusing.
in there? Poke, poke.
I think living in a river, they're used to small impacts like that, Pick.
Probably true.
You know what? I think you might be onto something. I knock an arrow and I shoot it.
Don't forget you're in direct sunlight right now. It is daytime, so
Okay,
it's
I
gonna
knock
be
an
rough.
arrow and I accidentally shoot person.
I'm just reminding you now because I forget constantly. So,
Nope, that's fair.
yeah.
Then I'll get closer.
Yeah, that's okay. So you, yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll and fire into the dam.
Wow. The sun is right in my eyes. I'm rolling amazing today.
All right, give me a D1.
I would have gone for a meme and just had them actually shoot person.
I mean, it'd be funny, but I do want to roll on it just for funsies.
Yeah, I get that.
All right, 57. Okay, ranged shooting table. 57 would be here. Okay, so the sun's in your eyes, and you just kind of like you half
Sorry, I'm back.
close them, and you overextend. Like you've done this a lot, but maybe it's because of the water or something. But the string comes loose, and you're gonna need to try and do a sleight of hand to try and like restring your bow. It doesn't hit anyone or hurt anything. It does like just kind of like wrap against your arms pretty badly as it is unstrung, but you're gonna have to restring it. It's annoying,
Ouch.
but yeah. And obviously the shot doesn't complete. But you didn't lose the arrow.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still gonna squint at Ludger and say, you know what? Maybe you should do it.
I take a shot with my Ketsi.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll. Please get a 1. Okay.
God.
Yeah, I wish you had to. You don't have disadvantage, so okay. Uh, that would have been fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie. All right. With an 11, yeah, it thunks into the wood. I assume you're shooting like here, just here in general.
Yeah, I would say about here.
Okay, yeah, it thunks into the wood, and there is like didn't break anything. It just kind of is impacted. So now there's an arrow in the the various. This is made up of various like felled trees and things like that. Most of it does look like kind of natural debris, so maybe it's just rather than like cut down like with beavers, it seems more like it was gathered and woven together. But yeah, there's now an arrow in it.
And nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
At this point, Ludger takes out one of his torches and starts lighting it.
Okay.
Please. And Purser will just snap his fingers.
Okay.
And
Where are you lighting? Where are you trying to light here?
We'll start it right on the edge here, and
Okay.
we'll see how easily it'll catch.
Sure. 1 sec. Toasty thaumaturgy. There it is. Yeah. There it takes a sec for you to like kind of keeping the heat to it, but with a lot of like sizzling and smoking, a little bit of fire does start on the silk. It seems like it's not. It seems like it's not spreading super quickly. Just probably almost certainly because of the water. But there's no like you were a little concerned sometimes evil fiendish monsters have webs that don't burn or things like that. There's none of that in effect here. It seems like it's perfectly burnable.
Just natural
Course.
waterloggedness.
Exactly. Yeah, there's just a lot of moisture there and it's not spreading quickly. And it might go out if left on to its own devices, but yeah, you could easily roast this dam.
I am my own devices.
Exactly.
So if it comes down to it, I am willing to just sit here and burn this all to ashes. It may take a few hours, but
It would take some time. Yep.
Well, while you're doing that, Lugger, you want to help me move the raft, please?
Yeah, it's still over there. It didn't crash or anything, but It is.
I will help him with that.
Okay.
Very excitedly goes to help as well. Not really processing. She's probably just going to walk underneath it with holding her hands up, unable
I'm
Yeah.
gonna stay with Purser just in case, like a saber-toothed tiger pops out of the woods, because that would be very par for the course at this point.
I mean, that is a good idea to have a frontliner with him.
Oh boy.
That's fair. All right,
I
so
never play clerics as frontliners. This is hilarious.
I know. So you guys go up. Both Bemi and Ludger both give me an athletics check. See about hauling it up and carrying it forward. Yeah. Zoom.
But I don't understand. You are so much stronger than I am. Why are you struggling?
I
Not
only
used
have a
to the
strength of
mud.
12. Just FYI.
Yeah, it slips out of Ludger's hands a couple times. Bemi, we'll say you're up front as you guys are like kind of hauling it, and it does drop a couple times. And you're not able to get it super far. But yeah, you guys could certainly keep hauling it if you want. If you want to do so, just go ahead and move your tokens.
Okie dokie. Still got him by like 2 points.
Very enthusiastically pulls on a rope like it's helping.
Yeah, that's fair.
Pushing
Now,
the
it
truck
occurs
from the
to me
bed.
that the
Yep.
memes aside, Pick is fucking stronger than both of us.
That
She's only got a
relative
strength of 10.
Yeah, that relative
It's just
strength.
proficiency right there.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you guys are all hauling it, and we'll say it gets to about here before Purser has finished burning all of this. Duplicate that. Yep, you've success what it gives way and is floating downstream. Purser is like
He's
a lot
blowing
of
off some
smoke,
steam.
and
There is a lot of steam, yes.
yeah. And if you once you start your usual, torching elsewhere, you guys do catch a glimpse of something under the water, kind of like moving away from the flames at a pretty good pace. And it's pretty vague for anybody who's like not airborne, so it's not a clear picture, but there's definitely something moving away from the fire. Probably like underwater. And you guys want to change anything? Does that just convince you you're doing the right thing here? What do you want to
What
Let's see.
direction was it
Here,
moving?
one sec, let me point with the
Would that be
arrow.
enough to see it?
If you're in the air, it would be. Yep. If you take a break from pulling.
She's
Yeah.
very focused on being so helpful right now. She's like, I'm
Okay,
killing it.
that's fair. But it seems like it's just moving along the dam. And yeah, you guys, I would say pick like we'll say one of the times like you try and you get the idea that if you flutter up in the air and maybe pull upwards, you get a better shot at it. And it doesn't help with that, but you do catch a glimpse of something in the water. And
Oh no.
that is enough for you to see it clearly.
She will fly over to see if she can get better eyes on it.
Okay.
Please be high.
She's high.
In the
Ish.
literal sense, not the
Yeah.
colloquial sense.
You see about the size of a big cat is a very big spider with like a very silvery rear thing.
Don't say the S word.
And
Yeah.
Purser will never leave.
but
Sorry,
yeah,
what? I must have missed something. I don't know what S word we're referring to.
spider.
Silver.
Silver.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I want literal actual silver, not just silver stuff.
Well, I mean, who knows? Zendrick is a strange place, strange land. But
Ugh.
yeah, there's a big spider crawling
Ugh.
along the like in underwater along the underside of this dam.
Eh.
It was about the
She
size of
just-
a cat.
Like big cat, so like tiger size.
Okay.
Oh, goody.
Oh, okay.
Tigers are
Actual big
giant.
cat.
Big spider. Ew.
Yeah,
In everyone's mind, and a picture of it as best she can estimate.
Ugh.
Probably exaggeratedly weird.
I'm
That
just
means
saying
just-
that's the equivalent of using like, it's about chihuahua sized when like describing like something like the size of a dire wolf.
Well,
Okay.
there you go.
and
Big
we,
cat.
we decided to
Ew.
move the boat.
Ew.
Purser will just happily continue burning the entire thing, just methodically disintegrating all of it,
Yeah,
watching
you
it wash
guys.
downstream.
Yeah, you guys successfully dehomed a pair of water catcher spiders, and
Ugh.
they let themselves drift downstream to hopefully find a better place to build their nest.
That's right.
And
Just a couple of spiders minding their own business, doing spider things, and here we
Look,
come.
they would have tried to eat our faces.
Do
well,
we
you
see
are.
them
mean-
like actually move downstream?
Yes. I would say you wouldn't from all the smoke from your like if you hop in the boat and float close enough you'd see them, but by and large pretty much pick is going to be your sole source of sight on this.
Okay.
You could get closer if you want to see them, but I'm assuming no one did wanted to.
Nope. I can
Nope.
reach most of it from the shore, so I'm just gonna
Methodically go
methodically
along,
break it
burn
all up.
Yep. Burn the perfectly natural beast type creatures. All right, so
Wanna know what's
Natural
also
or
Confusing to
not,
perfectly
pick, but she's
natural?
like,
The fucking sun carvers, and fuck them too.
oh yeah, we have the baby too. So
Yeah,
somebody's gonna have
natural
to be
or
watching
not,
the
they're in our
baby.
way.
What do you mean somebody? That somebody's you. That's your responsibility.
Nope.
I thought it was yours.
that is true. They dumped child rearing onto you while you were absent.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Nope.
And yeah, you guys drift away, having upset some of the wildlife, and continue on.
I mean, that being said, Purser would probably be happy to like hold its leash while he's setting everything on fire.
Yeah,
He's
keep
like,
that
"Look
thing
at
away
me."
from me.
That's fair. All right.
It's like chewing on one of my what are the shin guards called?
oh,
Greaves?
yeah, Greaves. Yeah.
Aldrins?
The greaves. I thought
Yeah,
pauldrons were
pauldrons are-
shoulders.
They are.
Yeah, I was wrong.
It could
It's
be
like-
either.
It's chewing on my greaves right now, and I'm just like, well, at least it's not my actual leg. It's fine.
Yeah. It's nipped you pretty good a couple times last time you were on babysitting duty. So.
I know, but this time it's chewing on my leg. So
Oh,
you know what?
I know what I'm just saying. Like you have experience. Like that thing fucking hurts. Like it bites like at least as badly as like a grown cockatiel. Like that's like
Oh god,
bolt cutters
those
on
are
a face.
bitches.
Have its teeth started coming in yet?
Yes, it does have one row of very tiny little razor sharp teeth
Mm.
that it noms with.
I'm sure Pick is thrilled about. She's like, "Look at your little teeth. Look at them."
Like viciously snaps at you.
Name for this little dinosaur bird?
I know we had a weird name for it. It was
I
like,
vote Yeller.
I know you guys
Um,
did name it, but I'm sorry I
we
don't
did name
remember
it.
it.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
It's been a few weeks. Let's see. We name you.
Steven. Okay, Steven.
I think it was like something about its carrier, like basket or something.
That sounds right. Bundle of joy. I don't know.
Mm.
But yeah, you guys. Other than that, there is like you continue downstream, ironically in the same direction the spiders were going. But hey, they're ambush predators, so they're probably not gonna seek vengeance or anything. They're spiders. So you get downstream pretty far, still boat in hand, so to speak. And you're free to set up camp for the night, or just close your eyes and let the currents take you where they will.
No.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Purser's not trusting that boat overnight.
It is a very cramped small space. Like I'm saying 4 people can fit on it if like everyone is okay having like it's airline level comfortable as far as cramped. And Pick
Which
just
is
flies a lot of the way.
to say not comfortable at all.
Exactly. Yeah, you're jammed in there.
I've been in worse.
You have,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you guys, do you want to look for an ideal space, or you just like, fuck it, we'll be fine here, off
I
the side of the river?
yeah.
I will help look for ideal space.
Yes, I will also help look for ideal space.
Okay, so both of you are one with advantage.
Um, I haven't been rolling very well. Let me give you help. Let me
Okay.
fly.
Good
Okay,
thing.
21. That is pretty
All right.
solid. Um, yeah, you find a pretty comfortable looking. It's not like it's an outcropping of rocks, but that's not really what looks comfortable. What looks comfortable is the fact that it seems to catch sand and other like softer um, mud, softer ground or soil, earth, whatever, whenever it would flood. So you see it pretty comfortable. It's not badly overgrown because a lot of things that would grow there keep drowning when it floods. That looks like a comfortable place to be as long as it's not the rainy season and you're in the dry season. So you could easily set up camp there pretty happily.
Explain all the benefits of the site and then offer it to them.
Purser will just trust Pick's judgment. He's not a woodsman in any way.
Sand is a comfortable thing to sleep in if you gotta sleep.
And we've got a tent, so it's not like he's
Yeah,
gonna be on
exactly.
us. So
A tent, but for the people who maybe are just sleeping in like bedrolls, it's still good. Um, and there's also, on top of it, the nearby like outcropping of rocks are tall enough for Pick. You don't even need to be in a tree tonight. You could just sit on top of the rocks if you still want to be high. I don't
Oh,
know if that's actually comforting, but there you go.
well, she makes her little couple stick nest, and then of course tucks the angry baby in and feeds it.
Fair enough. So how do you guys want to do watch? I know that there was serious talk last time that you have some things that don't sleep or need suspiciously little sleep, we'll say. Um, so did you want to just leave it all to Pick and Ludger, or how do you want to do that?
So I'm gonna be real. Sultalis hasn't picked up on the fact that Ludger needs no sleep, so she's gonna,
Yeah, that was an out of character discussion too, so that makes sense.
Yeah, no, she hasn't picked up on that yet. So she's gonna actually say, "I'll take the first watch."
I thought what we came to a conclusion was to use what's his face
Pearl.
Purser's cat Pearl
Oh,
Yeah.
right, right,
as
right.
Well,
a
Pearl
way
will
to ensure
assist
that
all
we.
night.
Yeah, I
But
was gonna say so everyone gets advantage on their checks.
Okay, thank you. I knew there was some
Take,
discussion about it. I didn't know to what capacity. Okay, there you go. So,
I'll take second shift.
okay, so we have Satalis, Bemi,
Roger will take third.
Ludger, and for the last shift?
Take it, since she's up anyway.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. And Purser's contribution is cat. Makes sense. Which is more useful than it sounds when I say it aloud. All right.
What was the
So
cat's name? Pearl.
Pearl.
Pearl, indeed.
I give Pearl scritches all night for that 20.
And she loves you.
Nice. Yeah. The night goes by. You don't see anything see or hear anything strange beyond the usual sounds of a jungle at night, and the nearby river flowing. It could be almost peaceful if not for the pretty aggressive bugs that are still very, very common. Like, you do spot some of the tear moths, but they don't, they're mostly just lingering to see who falls asleep and has delicious tears.
I
Yeah.
I sleep with my eyes covered now because of that shit.
I remember, yeah.
Um,
I was just
so
saying that's what you
nothing
see.
of note really.
Nothing of note? Nope.
All right. I will go wake up Bemi and hand him Pearl.
Okay, he'd be in the middle of his trance. She'd be, oh, kitty.
So
That's
she's
nice.
very helpful.
Yeah, That's good, kitty.
Okay. Bemmy, go ahead and give me a perception check with advantage.
Wow.
All right, look at that. With your crit, let's see, and your obscene dark vision with the whole Drow Night Stalker or Drow. What is it? It's not Night Stalker.
Boom soccer.
Gloomstalker. There we go. Thank you. With those things combined, you have a really wide dark vision field. I would say you do spot something. It's not near the tent, and it doesn't seem to be like going for the campsite anyway. Because you're elevated a little bit, you're kind of at like a slight bend in the river. Um, you spot what looks like one of those spiders currently like going through the woods and dragging large branches towards the edge of the river.
It's repairing its house.
Yeah, I think it's the same spider that we knocked downstream. All right. How far away is this big spider?
A little over 100 feet. It doesn't seem to have noticed you guys. It's just like just dragging like branches and stuff to the river.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep an eye on it.
Okay. Yeah, it does that pretty much through your entire shift, and is continuing to do it as you go to wake up the next person.
Hey, who is third?
Me.
I think Ludger. Yep.
Okay. Hey, looker. Want to take a look right over there? And see, it's big old spider. And he built another one of them nests so he can catch things on the river.
What is
Luger
your
takes
dark
us.
vision range? Because this is like 100 plus feet.
Oh, I guarantee it's not that far.
Yeah. So
See
Bemmy
it
is
plain.
going. Yeah.
I can see it plain as nighttime.
Yeah, taking a look for my stuff right now.
Let's say, for argument's sake, Ludger cannot see what you're pointing at. Uh,
I was about to say, I'm not seeing anything on my sheet that gives me dark vision.
Now
I
that was
don't
one
think
thing
I don't
you
think they
should.
have them. I don't think Reborn has dark vision.
He's not actually reborn, but he should have it. You have 60 feet of dark vision. If it's not on your sheet, add it.
All right.
Specifically because that was one of the whole like Warforged versus Carnathi Undead is like Carnathi Undead can do night vision stuff or can do night operations because they have dark vision. So, regardless, you do not see that with 60 feet.
I
And
prefer the term Carnafi benefit of experimental surgery.
right, that one. But regardless, you you do not see it. And what do you want to do? You could like approach this thing as it's just you can hear something out there in the woods, like doing things. But
That's
so far,
comforting.
yeah, so far it like Bemmy, from what you can tell, either hasn't noticed you guys or you're not like on its radar. It's just kind of hurrying as it goes about gathering as much wood as possible.
I take the attitude that we can kill it in the morning. So
Fair enough.
We get further down the river. Oh, they built it again. Same spider.
No, yeah, unless they're planning to like throw it in the water and have it drift, they're building it up behind where you guys have already sailed through. They're
Oh,
actually aiming to like anchor it around pretty close to the same bend that you guys are at. So they're
oh,
probably
okay.
just rebuilding it here.
Now, Purser's asleep at this moment.
He is, yep.
We did leave a fairly large chunk of wood on the riverbank.
You did, yep. Anyways, Lid- Lid- Lidger, it seems like nothing attacks during your watch. Actually, you know what? Give me a perception check with advantage, just to see if you notice anything unique. Yeah, nothing new. You do spot some of those strange moths come out, but everyone who they would feast upon is either like not actually sleeping or has stuff over their eyes or is in a tent. So
I mean, as before, I offered the spot in the tent to Sultalis, so she
yeah,
has
yeah,
double protection.
yeah. Eye mask and tent. Um, but yeah, your watch goes by pretty happily, and I think it's Pick's turn.
I pass the cat to Pick.
Kitty.
Is
I have
Pick
a
still?
serious question. Oh,
Yes.
my serious question is, has Pig ever seen a house cat like this before? Or is she used to like car cows and cats like that?
It'd be like jungle cats, I think.
Yeah, that would be the most she would have seen, and they're not really
This
common on the islands.
this is just very exciting for her.
Yeah, like I assume at this point you've gotten past, so I'm fairly certain it's not their food.
Yeah, this is
Because that
not
was
for
the original
eating.
impression. Yeah.
I mean, she's seen Purser make the cat out of fire, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
these people are
Morally
weird
certain
as
I don't eat
fuck.
it. Yeah, yeah, they are strange. Um, but
Very
with that
fair.
perception, you also notice this spider. I just assumed Ludger, you relayed, hey, there's a
Yes.
water catcher spider out there. Okay. Yeah, Pick, you're able to hear it like shuffling about and hear splashes and stuff as presumably it goes in and out of the water.
Go
And
look at it.
yeah, I mean you'd have to fly pretty close to see it. Well, actually, what's your dark vision? Is it
Pretty
120
good.
or is it 60?
Let's see. 60.
60? Yeah, you need to fly a little closer to spot it. But you could do so. And let's see.
Especially since
Are
she
you
doesn't
trying
have
to
to
be
crash through the
stealthy?
ground. Yeah,
Yeah. Are you trying to be stealthy?
absolutely.
Okay, give me a stealth check as you're fluttering along. Okay, Pick's rolling on point tonight. Yeah, it doesn't notice you as it's like it's basically webbing up a lot of this and carefully fitting it at various points on the riverside. See it like spins out different these long threads that it carefully ties to like tree trunks and things like that. Um, and you do see it actually try and maneuver the boat around and start like kind of trying to shove it into the water. Um, do you want to do
She
anything
will.
or?
Um. Yeah, she
Angry
might
moth
go.
noises.
Angry moth noises and then throw things at it would be her first response to see if she couldn't spook it off on her own.
Okay,
But
give me an
she
intimidation check.
chitter chitter chitter. Throw stick. Absolutely nothing.
You get like it does kind of like not quite bolt, but half throw itself in the water to the first few rocks. But when it notices that like there's just like twigs and it notices that this isn't really doing anything, and it very cautiously comes back out and you get the feeling it's looking around, and then proceeds to kind of ignore you and just start like moving the stuff back into the water to build its house.
Yeah, she'll fly back to the camp and wake up. Well, who else is kind of. Does everyone look asleep? Well, I guess she can. The only person's dreams she can see is Purser.
yeah, Purser just gets
So
knocked out.
Ludger has been like pretty much every single night. He's just been spending the whole night like hunched over by the campfire.
She'll go
So
tug on his sleeve like a kid.
yeah, Ludger reacts instantly as if he's a very very light sleeper, uh, and is ready to go.
Take boat. Points.
Oh hell no! He instantly leaps to his feet and starts like running towards the river.
Spider take boat. No, hell no.
Um, yeah, it is the early twilight morning, and boots squishing through the muck as you run up, and you see this spider. It seems to hear you coming, like pretty sizable person rushing towards it, and Yeah, it drops the boat and half rushes into the water. Like that was enough to spook it off. It's just, random little things pelting it from an unseen assailant wasn't really that scary. But yeah, it's an ambush predator. It's not going to take anything close to how big it is. So it just runs into the water, and your boat is free, save for some webbing that was like on the side of it.
She cheers at Ludger. Not
And
scared of me.
I sulkingly like drag the boat away from the water. You
give me
know,
give
keeping it.
me an athletics check.
Can I help?
There you go. Yeah, that's. I was waiting for
He's
something
got
over
it.
15. Yeah, you're able to get it like up away from it. It's by the time you're finished, the sun is coming up officially, and yeah, it seems like the night has gone by without any harm come to anyone.
Pick will regale everyone in the morning with the tale of Ludger saving the boat from the spider.
How exaggerated would you say it is by the next? Like, because I imagine you're telling it to each person as they wake up.
Yeah, probably gets about like 5% more exciting every time she tells it.
There you go. And yeah, now it's time to carry the boat back to the river and hop in and continue on your merry way. Once everybody's had breakfast or the equivalent of it. Ludger, do you want to be part of the team that hauls it? I'm not going to make you guys do another check. It's just for flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Um, yeah, you guys haul it back, and um, so like as the morning sun comes up, it's not real bright. Today seems like it's going to be more of an overcast day. Probably welcome news to Bemi. Um, but as you guys float downstream, continuing on, the terrain begins to change as it goes from pretty dense jungle to swamp. Uh, by midday, you've made your way into the Soul's Light Swamp officially. You can tell because it's marked by a sharp increase in humidity, insects, and a like growing thicker as you go into it fog that seems to engulf the area. It faintly obscures the sun, so you're in kind of a constant twilight. Visibility is pretty thoroughly reduced. But even on a bright day, it's going to be hard to really clearly see very far here. When it's overcast, it's even darker than when you're in the heart of the jungle during the day. So it's dimly lit. The fog seems to muffle sounds as well, making the entire area as you drift along eerily muted. You hear the sounds of wildlife like amphibians, insects, birds, but it's all kind of distant. It's like you're listening to it underwater. As the day goes on, there's faint flickers of light you catch out of the corner of your eye, but they tend to vanish as you try to focus on them. And Bemi, because visibility is reduced, go ahead and give me a water vehicle handling check. I just saw the meme.
Okie doke.
Just to avoid hitting unseen like disturbances, because you're kind of, I won't say sailing blind, but 15 feet out basically. Yeah, it's not super hard. There's a couple rough scrapes as you bump into things, but by and large you're able to keep you're just going with the current. It's not too tricky. You do notice that silk or that webbing is staying on the boat pretty well and seems very water resistant. But while there's plenty of plant life here, the most notable thing you see are the Sol banyan trees. These massive snarled plants seem to blend together, creating arboreal pathways that rise out of the muck. At the crown of each tree is a cluster of pale white figs with pretty notable skull shape. Um, for your part, you've always had a strange feeling around soul trees. Well, more than your usual hunger for the delicious figs. You kind of always feel like you're being watched while you're near them, and given how touchy the drow are about them, that was plenty of reason to just kind of avoid the things. But now that you finished your training, you get a more directly, like you're definitely you're certain you're being watched, and you can kind of hear something coming from them, like a chorus of voices just far enough away that you can't make out the words.
Hmm.
Go closer.
Okay. Yeah, fluttering closer, and the trees aren't hostile. Nothing jumps out at you, but there's still that strange feeling of something. And if you want to try and figure out what's going on, or maybe just do stuff, I would need an Arcana check. Yeah, this one would be with advantage, given the nature of your abilities. Wow, there you go. Maybe it's because you finished your training as a guardian of the dead, or phantom to the uninitiated. But if you focus, you recognize there's definitely some kind of magic at work here. The Scorpion Nation drow weren't lying. Like, you didn't suspect it, but it was sort of irrelevant. They had good fruit, so you were just going with it. But the bodies you bring must somehow leave a bit of their soul in the trees. Focusing with all of your might, you can actually make out some of the words of the chorus. And I think it's more sufficiently eerie if she just hears them. So here you go.
Oh, that's
And yeah,
exciting.
Hick fluttered off the boat to, you did not far, but like, yeah, fluttered off the boat to go hang out in the trees there.
And now she's going to be chitter talking to the trees. / psychically talking to the trees.
Okay, fair enough.
It's pretty par for the course at this point. We're used to it.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's really that weirded out by it.
Nope.
But yeah, this is your just general chittering. Yeah. You guys continue to
Questions
drift.
for the tree? She asks in their minds. They are the many spirits in the trees. We protect. They are very wise, but they will answer questions.
What?
Points
a
at the tree
genuine-
with all points with the tree with all of her arms, like that answers all of the questions, and then
I look around at my party members to see if they understand what's going on, because,
Brewster just gives a confused shrug.
Siltalis has no fucking clue.
ancestor trees. Points again, then points at Bemi, and then points at the tree.
Your ancestors?
Bemi's.
Oh.
My ancestors?
Mm.
Well,
We're all confused at this point.
oh.
And the tree told you this?
Yes, very confidently. Scorpion nations. My people help bury the dead under the trees. I think they keep some of the souls, and now they are collective, connected. They talk.
How
So-
bizarre.
I look at Bevmy again.
So you talking to the trees?
Like it's perfectly normal, very confidently.
Okay. Okay.
Out of
okay.
out of character, do
Wisdom
we speak
of
Vietnamese?
Volcori.
Hmm. It, is it just something that you can hear? Oh. Wisdom.
Asked the tree telepathically. Could they hear
Okay.
you?
Hello, tree.
Do you hear them?
tree. I guess we're related.
He's typing. I'll trans. You are not of the people, so you cannot hear them.
Oh, so we're not related?
Mm. He's typing.
Does the tree have one of those like fancy RGB keyboards?
It does not.
It's a spirit keyboard. It's all blue and misty and... They say, Bemi, you are one of our blood, but not of our people.
Oh. Well, sorry.
Meanwhile, it's like fan is like, like.
But do you wish to ask them anything?
I don't know. Can you help keep it safe while we're on the river?
She looks at the trees and looks at Bemi. Thinks about it for a minute, but asks. They wonder if you can help keep us safe on the river. I know she has a spirit following her that she's supposed to be escorting. She would just say, like, how is thy spirit doing?
Your spirit, the one following you, which is the spirit of
Little
a
boy.
little drow boy, is kind of scared about this. Like he can feel these things too, but this is like the voice, so to speak, is like hundreds of people talking at once. This is very like intimidating to a child who is not like part of any collective. He is scared.
She will act like she is patting him and comfort him. It is okay. The trees will not take you.
Looking at me, silly? Because that was really off-putting.
The trees say that they will keep the wandering dead from harming us.
Oh, yeah.
The wandering.
That makes sense. Sometimes they do that.
Nods.
That actually is true. Like Bemi, you're very now they're talking sense. That is really
Yeah.
common on the southern part of the island.
That makes sense, yeah.
What kind of dead?
The ones that ain't alive no more.
Wander.
Duh.
Thank you, Bemi.
Yeah, of course, anytime.
Is there anything that we can do for the trees? Are you well?
That's a good question.
Priestess caretaker, she needs your help. Is she in the swamp? I'm getting something we need to do from the trees, or that I need to do from the trees, Pick tells them.
And what is this?
Go to the priestess caretaker. Is
will
the
say-
player forgetting where she is?
Like that doesn't narrow it down too much. Like Telbeck has a priest or priestess who runs it usually. Could be that.
Okay.
Like you've been there a lot. Like they actually know you in Telbeck
Yeah.
because you regularly bring bodies. So
Tell Beck? She
Can
asks.
you ask it to give us a map?
She giggles and just shakes her head. I don't think tree make map. Like any of the rest of this makes sense.
Like, you're being silly, Purser. How could a chain edge map?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you cut it down and then turn it into pulp. And but yeah, I will say at this point the thing genuinely, well, collective, whatever. It's not so much
Tired.
tired as having a hard time like forming,
Focusing.
yeah, focusing on you. Maybe there's something else drawing its attention, or maybe there's just a limit on how much it can
And
interact
talk.
regularly.
She just thanks the tree and then asks the last question if she can have some fruit. May I take some fruit? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
She's
you
very
knew
respectful
that.
to the tree. Yeah.
You already knew,
Don't
like,
stuff your face.
well, it's a serious limit. You're not supposed to eat more than 3 pieces at once. The visions you can get pretty bad.
She will take 2 fruits.
Do you
Well,
want to share
yes.
anyone with the group?
She's
They
going to
did.
share with the group, but she's going to wait until nighttime.
Okay, fair.
She takes 2 fruits. She thanks the tree. She assures her little ghost boy, make sure that her critter is tucked away and does not get anywhere near her fruit. It is in the pack farthest away from the critter. Not that it wants fruit typically, but
Yeah,
and
it's
returns
more
to the group.
interested in the fingies that are moving the fruit. But yeah, regardless, after this very helpful interaction for everyone, uh, well, I mean, it was helpful for Pick. That's what we'll qualify. She had a good, and
Purser
maybe the trees did.
is fascinated and is
Yeah,
filing this all for later.
this would be very strange if that's sincere in any way. Like, you're not sure how it would work. But
Magic be weird sometimes.
it do be like that. But yeah, as you guys continue to drift along, it would probably be a good time to find a camping spot.
Okie dokie.
I'm not okay. I'm going to assume, unless told otherwise, you guys aren't going for the like continue sailing all night option. Like, I just want to verify that because game's about choice, but I'm assuming
As
you guys aren't.
much as Bemi would rather be traveling at night, rivers are dangerous at night.
Yeah, especially now that you're actually getting far enough south for like
Yeah.
regular
And
undead to be a thing again.
I'm the only one who can see really, really well at night.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
You've
You'd
also
sw-
seen Purser getting like visibly anxious as it gets dark
yeah.
Um,
and like staring blindly into the dark as if he can't see anything, which would be weird.
That'd
that'd
be
be
so
awful,
weird.
wouldn't it? Yeah.
So let's say I'm assisting. I'm assisting our little mall friend Cha Cha.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah, you're able to find a pretty good spot. There is nowhere that's super dry, but you find a pretty. It's not super wise to, but what's the harm for a night? The roots around one of the larger soul trees act as sort of like an artificial or well, act as a natural island out of the water, out of the muck. And if you guys just set up your stuff like clustered around the roots, you should be good. Relatively speaking, you should be safe from things like whatever's in the water and stuff like that. But building a fire here would be tricky because you're gonna have to build on a little platform. Burning the roots, is really bad idea.
Pick would be very insistent that everyone is kind to the tree. She would also probably say that they should introduce themselves to the tree and request to stay there, whether they get an answer or not, and that there should be no harm done to the tree, that these are sacred, and don't eat the fruit.
I'll be real nice. I won't eat your fruit. Can I sleep here, please?
A loud
She's
croak
like-
from a frog comes nearby.
I think Sultalis would ask, is this tree psychic? Could I speak with it?
Could try.
I will
It-
try to speak with this
It
tree.
is Solbanyan tree. Wisdom
Give me
of
an Arcana
Rokori.
check.
What'd you say?
Give me an Arcana check.
Oh boy.
I think
We'll
there are
have it
many
in
bits of
3 to
spirit.
5 business days.
Fine.
Eh,
But
Arcana, something I'm so good at as a cleric.
that's what I expect. Yeah.
No,
We're sorry. The tree you're trying to reach is not available.
right.
We've been trying
Yeah.
to reach you about your tree's extended warranty.
Yeah. You're not able to really get much. Like maybe there's some magic here, but honestly, as you like, this entire area feels weirdly magical, anyways. Like you're not kind of uncomfortable. Like it makes the hair raise on the back of your neck type thing. Like this is just a creepy area in general. So maybe it's the tree, maybe it's just the swamp.
Could I tell if any of these like weird effects going on are reminiscent of a manifest zone, perhaps?
Give me an Arcana check with advantage.
19.
That is a very good line of thought because the more you think about it, this is almost certainly a manifest zone. And given that it started when you went into the swamp, this would be, you're not sure how far it goes, but this would be a very big one. Or a lot of little ones like layered or something. But
Especially if it's Dolar, because that's rare enough to start with. Oof.
exactly, yeah. Um, but yeah, you're
So,
like morally certain here.
so after some thought, Purser will just like put his hands on his hips and look up at the tree. Tree, I am a Templar of the Silver Flame, and I will be resting here tonight. Does that suffice, Pick?
Say thank you for the safe place to sleep, or something nice. Nice to tree. Nice to many spirits.
Thank you.
Very good.
Having seen Purser once again have the tone, the asshole accent,
It was pretty civilized. It was very direct,
my Sultalis will say, I would speak with you through my mind, but I can't seem to figure that out. But if you would be so kind, I would like to rest here tonight. And thank you in advance for the safety your roots provide.
Purser be like, "What do you mean polite? I was polite. I didn't use a slur."
I didn't burn anything.
I mean, I feel like it's not quite there, but it's bordering on copyright infringement with, certain characters I play. Anyways, listen, you didn't patent racism. All right. Oh God. Yeah, so with that, you guys are able to bed down for the night. How do you want to try the fire? That will be tricky because you're kind of building it. Yeah,
Do
this will
we
be tricky.
have to do a fire?
You don't. You
Or
genuinely don't. It's just if you want one, it'll be hard to do.
I don't know if I would even bother with a fire given how much these trees seem to mean to Bemi and Pick. Just on the like, I don't even want to risk it, you kind of thing,
That's fair.
Ask before everyone went to bed if they wanted to share a piece of the sacred fruit and that she had permission to take these
Yeah.
ones from the tree.
I would love to.
Absolutely.
I will take a sample.
Do not eat
Ludger,
more.
Ludger politely abstains.
That's fair. Yeah, that's real fair. Okay, so everybody who's eaten one, give me a con save. Except
Boy.
Pick, you're really used to this at this point.
A con save.
I see some pretty lights.
Quite.
11.
Purser, like, first of all, all of you, this is some of the best fruit you've ever had. Like, yeah, it's a fig, but it's like just it's almost indescribably good. Like, this is just amazing. These would sell obscenely well anywhere in Corvair. And Purser, you're like on top of that, it not so much giddy, it just makes you feel kind of sedate briefly, but you shake it off. Like, it's just, that's really good. Bemi and Sitalis, both of you feel like that the fog that's everywhere is kind of encroaching on the corners of your vision. And you find yourselves lost in memories for a little while that aren't yours. You're actually sort of drifting through. You can't remember them after you come out of this. It takes about a solid hour for you to come out of the effect. But in the same way, you can't remember a dream usually. Like, there's tidbits. Bemi, you think you remember something about a particularly big social event, maybe? There was like a lot of people, a lot of drow, and there was some type of, you're not sure what it was. There was some type of really big event. They were meeting someone important. Uh, Sitalis, yours is even a little more unsettling because you don't dream. So like, this type of out of body experience is wild. Even it's less alien even for Bemi, who does trance. Um, this is like somehow otherworldly experience, like remembering, but very vivid, and you're pulled into um, some type of hunt. There's like a grand river nearby, and you remember it's very important, and like, you're able to pull a little more out of it, but by and large, well, the strongest memory is like of falling into the water from being overhead and like just panic gasping for air. And yeah, you guys come out of it an hour later, apparently having just kind of like sat down and, pupils highly dilated. You went on a little trip.
Do I remain conscious for that duration?
You were fine. Yeah, you shook it
Okay.
off.
And I'm like paying close attention to like my emotional state, keeping an eye on like any kind of despondence or
It didn't make you feel
particular.
despondent. It just made you feel really, really calm. Like this could be a sedative almost.
Fascinating.
A really tasty sedative. Pick, as always, it's just really good. It helps you even out.
Happy fruit time.
Yeah, yeah.
Eats more
Anything
than one piece, but not more than 3.
the whole time Purser was like, "Oh, all religions are equally valid, guys. People around, all man is created equal."
Yeah. What do you mean?
I
He's
mean,
always like that. He
yeah.
said he's fine with other religions.
I have
You should tell him
explicitly
about them.
stated that I am really conspicuously open to other religions.
But yeah, so it's an interesting night, or at least beginning to the night. Do you guys want to do a watch?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
There's not much point in Purser helping. He can't see anything, even if not for the fog.
Poor blind boy.
Yeah, it is very, very obscured.
He just huddles up next to one of the roots and tries to sleep as best he can.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it would be really hard to set the tent up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make everybody do checks again, because things you've done. Oddly enough, as the night falls and the swamp gets really dark, the muffling effect seems to lessen. The croak of frogs, buzzing of insects, chirps of birds, or maybe dinosaurs, becomes loud enough to keep you awake if you're a light sleeper. Um, uh, we'll say you guys do keep watch, nothing particularly happens, but you do see occasionally flickering bluish lights out over the swamp. They never approach too closely, but you just see them drift along and then vanish as quickly as they appear. But yeah, it's a peaceful night, if a bit loud.
Right. I am going to say, even though I know that we don't have to roll, that to provide some sort of light source, Ludger lights a torch and passes it off to whoever's on watch all night. So at least we have something.
That's fair. Yeah, as long as you're careful with it, it's not gonna burn down the tree,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah. And yeah, I will subtract that because yep.
Good idea to have in general. But yeah, the sun must be coming out, because it's difficult to tell under the fog, but a certain amount of light does return to that haze, and that familiar muffled thing does come in. And you guys are free to continue sailing away. Well, drifting away.
Switching out that Whispers of the Dead, can I then make a history roll to see if I could tell them more about this area and these traditions?
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
Great.
Okay. So you were taught some history about this area, specifically because, for your people, the swamp has an interesting history. Uh, you just like all the rest of the islands, there through the oral histories that you guys keep, you were absolutely kept as slaves by the giants for some time, uh, by the original giant inhabitants, not the strange northern ones. But supposedly, something that happened in the swamp, you think, made them decide to free your people. But you're not sure exactly what. But, interesting little tidbit. Something here in the swamp was responsible for your people to not be, like, officially slaves in the whatever giant society called the southern half of the island home.
Share that with the rest of the group for random interesting thing that they did not ask for, but they'll be like floating down the river and she'll be like,
Yeah. Make it
blah,
conversation.
random
you rem-
information.
How long ago was this?
That is an interesting question to a Thrygreen.
I know
Because
that, like, and I wouldn't know that. That is an interesting question. She's genuinely curious.
very long time ago, Pick. Very long
They
time.
live.
Like
They live for how long?
what? Like
20 years.
30.
Yeah. So.
so what? 1,000 generations?
Again,
Well,
she doesn't know that, so she's asking.
No, that's
This-
fair. That's fair.
this would likely have been in the Age of Giants, so maybe 40,000, 50,000 years ago.
Why did they free you, Pick?
Don't know. Something here. I don't remember. I probably can
Okay.
ask the spirits later.
So she says, I don't remember. And I blink, and you remember your ancestors' lives?
No.
Oh.
But oral history is we teach through story, and I'm not always the best at paying attention to story, but I can speak to dead and, well, kind of. I can ask ancestors if they remember, if they see, if we stay by another tree. Looks at the ghost boy, doesn't mention it, looks back to her.
Yeah, the ghost boy doesn't know. He's a drow
Yeah,
child.
he doesn't know either, but she's like just now realizing that might be weird to them, and she hasn't said anything about it.
Come on, help me out here, man.
There's like, there's someone else riding in the boat. Wait a minute, I just realized all these people are very different about their dead.
Yeah, that's true. But
I mean, to be fair, you haven't seen much of our burial rites or anything, right?
that's
No.
true.
Just
Yeah. They might do the civilized thing and bury them with trees. Or, maybe they're weird about it and they burn them, but
Oh, that'd be terrible.
Probably is a
ugh, who
cultural
would do
thing.
that?
those asshole
Do you
firebinders.
bury you bury
Ugh,
dead under tree, yeah?
no.
My people bury dead.
With tree?
Not always with
Soul
tree,
tree.
but usually in a place that means something to us.
I mean, usually when Meemaw has somebody dead, just thrown in the river and the crocodile come up and get him.
We bury our dead with special treatments of oil and powdered silver. to ward off the lingering undeath.
That is not what we do.
Our people have not had the luxury of burying the fallen heroes of a fatherland.
She
I
looks
look
at
at
them
Ludger.
confused.
I look at Ludger and like, do you play up your accent for dramatic effect? Is that what's happening?
I feel like he does.
I've been
I
to
mean-
Karnath. We both know that's not true.
Maybe it's
What do
true
you
to
mean it's
him.
not true?
I've attended Karn funerals.
What?
Poor pig. So lost.
I'll pick. I'm gonna distract Pick by explaining Kalashtar burials, which I would imagine are something along the lines of what I have decided are Kalashtar burials, which is usually we bury our dead unless there's sickness. If there's sickness, we cremate them to prevent the sickness from spreading. We
Yeah,
bury
it's more
them.
important that they have like a bloodline to carry everything on anyways, so it's like there's a lot of you did your duty if you had kids type stuff. That's a
Well,
strong
and
emphasis in Kalashtar funerals.
and she would explain like, and it's not always with a tree. Sometimes, if a Kalashtar found a meadow near their home particularly peaceful, we would try to bury them there, or something like that. Does
I
that make
know-
sense?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
To Pick, she's telling this to Pick. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes. I guess so.
We wouldn't want to. So you said that you bury all of your dead with the tree, but if someone died of a very bad illness, we wouldn't want to pass it to the tree. Do you understand?
She nods, but we buried a lot of plague victims under trees, didn't we?
So to be clear, Pick, it's up to you how you would say your people bury their dead. Part of the deal is you help the drow bury their dead.
Yeah.
Like the drow are the ones who bury it with trees. It's up to you
yeah.
how the Thry Queen of the island do it.
I don't know.
They could do the same thing. That's fine with me. It
Yeah.
would need to be a different grove, I will say.
Yeah.
Just because two hive minds at once are not optimal.
No. I don't know. Maybe they'd do something like, since they're air creatures or whatever, they just do like the sky burial type thing.
That's honestly what I
Except-
was thinking, but I didn't want to
Yeah.
stifle player creativity where it's
They
like,
just
yeah,
put them back out.
High point, you put the body out there and things take care of it.
Yeah. It'd be like, well, drow bury under tree, we leave out for return to land. On high place, though. So many things get.
What do you mean get?
It means eat.
Food.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Back to world. Back to gestures around. But tall place. Drow use tree.
No, why did I have to be the one to come here?
I
Poor
look at
Purser.
him like, you didn't?
Or
What?
Purser.
What?
Oh.
This was voluntary.
Yeah, voluntary, yeah.
Well, Pick would ask them about all of their culture's funeral rites the rest of the day, because that fascinates her.
That is fair.
And then ghost stories. If they have any.
Oh, I got ghost stories. Can I tell you some?
Yeah!
Okay. He would go about telling all kinds of ghost stories. The ghosts he has seen, the ghosts he's talked to.
Yeah, these are all like not, oh, it was a hook-handed man. These are, I met the hook-handed man and he makes peanut butter sandwiches. Like,
It's like,
I believe it. I fucking
yeah,
believe it.
that's very good. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, Purser's got some ghost stories as well. He'll
Ooh.
happily tell everyone about the time that he and a band of other Templars snuck across the Brelish border to the town of Hatheril to deal with a ghost infestation.
That's fair.
So did you get out okay?
So I'll just look at Bemmy for a second. Yes.
And he has a genuine look of concern on his face, and as soon as you say yes, he's like, "Oh, thank goodness, I was worried."
It was quite horrifying.
Okay.
Ghosts are excessively violent during wartime.
Well, not all wartime yet, that I believe.
Yeah, Ludger explains how his father joined the Carnafi legions in very, very slightly somber terms, but not really reacting with much horror about it,
Ah,
as if it was like a perfectly normal part of life.
Legions, huh? We probably haven't. Bemmy and Pick have probably not understood war to the scale they understand it.
yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
Bemmy's
Like,
heard of it.
what?
Bemmy's heard of it.
Was Ludger's father a posthumous commission?
He didn't even get commissioned at all. He was a rank and file soldier.
Okay.
Ah.
How about you, silly? You got any scary ghost stories? He bats his eyelashes.
She tries to smile, but kind of at the reminder of the war, it's just like she seems a little sad.
Oh.
But she smiles. She says, "Not really. I suppose I could tell you a little bit about the history of my people, since we're sort of spirits." And she'll tell them a little bit about the history of the Kalashtar and the spirits that fled the realm of nightmares.
Ooh,
Bemmy's enraptured.
same.
Yeah,
Mercer is
she
similarly fascinated.
she explains that there was a group of spirits that decided they didn't want to be mean. She dumbs it down for Pick and Bemmy a little bit.
Aw.
They didn't want to be mean
Aw.
anymore.
That's
And
good.
so they left the realm, but they were hunted, so they made a deal with humans who took the spirits on, and the spirits live on in our bloodlines. So the spirit that my mother had, I and my sisters also have.
That's really cool. You're helping out the nice spirits, so you can be nice with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
pretty good.
Neat. Good.
Yeah.
Good to help good spirits.
Mm-hmm. It is. I
Hmm.
think
Some
so.
stuff kind of makes sense, like that the whole like weird double vision you get when you look at her is like, oh, that's the spirit, like, because it's kind of you didn't want to be mean, but it's not a very pretty spirit, so like that's
No, they're
maybe,
not.
maybe
They really
that's
aren't.
why. Maybe
That
that would
makes
explain the double vision.
And Pick would tell her, that makes sense. When I look at you, there is some pretty and some not very pretty, and there's both. So,
I'm
other one is not
assuming
you.
I'm assuming I know what a quarry spirit looks like, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, most
come up.
certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
She just kind of smiles. She says, "I think that for my people, we find them beautiful in their own way. Most others don't agree."
Well, I think that sometimes things that are pretty may not look pretty, but they're still pretty. Now, like, look at Silly. She's very pretty, but maybe the spirit doesn't look pretty, but it's still
Bemmy.
pretty on the inside.
I blow a kiss to Bemmy.
I was worried
I
he was
don't know.
about to like.
I gotta go to bed.
I'm
Purser was like
well.
desperately trying to stop him from putting his foot in his mouth with Sil.
Oh, that's one of the nicest things I've heard Mercer try and do.
So
That's awesome.
he said some things that are nice on the outside aren't nice on the inside, and then he immediately followed that up by saying Silly's very pretty. So I was really worried there.
She got the spirit.
Yeah, he's got this.
Demi has no malice or artifice
Filter.
in him. She knows what he means.
Yeah.
You may not understand, but you understand.
Right.
Well, this is a good time for a 10-minute break because we're at
Alright.
the 2-hour mark, and we'll come back then.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Out of character, what kind of Quora is Syl bonded to?
Oh
If
my
you're still
god,
there.
Sam and I talked about this, and I don't know if we wrote it down. Hold on. Spirit.
If you can just describe it, I'd probably be able to tell you if you know anything about it.
Hold on. Siltalis. I think we did Desire. Halashak.
Oh,
If I'm
Hashalak. Yep.
if I'm remembering correctly.
The danger spaghetti.
Desire.
So I came in on the tail end of that, but I was muted. Yeah, it was Desire. Desire.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was. I was looking at all of the types, and I'm like, I think we did Desire.
Honestly, they're my favorite like quarry type because the weird obsessions they tend to develop with like certain human stuff is, I think, interesting.
They're the most human out of all the Quori, and they're still alien enough to be off-putting
Exactly. Yeah,
in
that's a
both
big
their
part of it.
appearance and appetites.
I think we also settled on Siltalis and her sisters are eerily beautiful because of it.
Well, that's like all.
Yeah, it's all
Kalashtar
Kalashtar
to a
and
point,
inspired, yeah.
but yeah, there's definitely some influence there.
Not that she seems to use it very often.
It could be something that, like, since childhood, you'd use it very subtly. It, like, inclines people to like you more and hate you less and that kind of thing.
It's like how Tiff's character is like not exactly an angry character. She's just hilariously lethal. Um, that's my interpretation of how she expresses like a quarry of rage and anger. Is like she's Miss Super Cheerful and Friendly, but like any physical combat, she is like incredibly dangerous to be near.
I think at some point Siltalis will say in character, I need to write to Selena. And nobody is gonna know what that means.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, Selena's still in the middle of, well, not in the middle, but somewhere in their
Jungle.
first downtime, or no, the real long downtime.
Yeah, when she went to the swamp again.
Yes. Which may or may not have happened. It's one of those vague things because the player wasn't there, so left very vague.
I think it should happen just so that at some point Selena could be like, Siltalis, you need to meet my friend Rhea.
Nope. I mean, honestly, it's up to you guys, but would have been happy to do something for her, but Tiff has been so busy. She hasn't had time. Like, I'm amazed she made this month's game, actually. That's oh, that reminds me, after this game I should put up a thing asking when the one shot for next month is good. We'll have to once a month.
So
Yeah, in, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say preemptively the 7th will absolutely not work.
7th it is. Gotcha. Okay. Go ahead, Mercy.
In some of my recent reading, I learned that there is actually an enclave of Kalashtar that live in Flamekeep because they
Oh,
believe that the Church of the Silver Flames' purpose is aligned with the Path of Lights. But the church doesn't know they're there, and the Kalashtar are really worried that they'll find out that all these, like, nightmare possessed people are living in the city with them, and
Yeah,
that something
that
bad
sounds
will
right.
happen.
That
But
that
the
also,
Kalstar want it to be a good relationship.
but yeah, it's also on the other hand, it's Silver Flame.
Hmm
Um, that reminds me of like how some of the chamber agents like actively try to help the Silver Flame, but on the other hand, it's very much like we help them in like the way you help a child from a distance. Like
hmm
they're doing good work, but yeah, let's be not direct about this. I mean, that's kind of how they take every approach, but especially with the Silver Flame, like they're actually helpful. It's just very, very through proxies.
Yeah, it's the difference between good and naughty children. Like,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
need to
exactly.
stop the Silver Flame people from, like, fighting demons. You just
Yeah,
need to
it's
make sure that they do it correctly.
yeah, yep, yep. No, 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 that one's not possessed. It's this one. There you go. Burn it alive. Okay.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. Purser's boss is gonna love all this new information.
You mean the head of the settlement? Yeah, she's definitely open to info.
Yes!
By the way, I genuinely knew that you guys would probably just like go around them. That's why I made the map to show like areas around the river too. But I am very proud of the water catcher spiders because they're an
Oh yeah,
They're
they're
entirely
creepy.
fun.
homebrew concept. Like, yeah, they're just basically like beaver spiders, and they're based off I forget the actual name, but like there's like a European spider that just has a bubble of air that sticks to it that just lives underwater. Airbell
Hmm
spiders, there it is.
Yep.
That's what they're based off of.
And there's other spiders that will, like, weave, like, huge webs across streams and rivers to
Hmm.
catch, like, all the mosquitoes and dragonflies and things.
Exactly. Yeah, I just kind of combined them and said, beaver element.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Mel, I
Okay.
think I've heard from you. You're here, correct? Maybe. No, I got
Negative Ghost Rider.
You
message.
can hear me?
Oh, there we
Oh,
go. Now I can hear you. Okay,
there it is.
Okay.
everyone is back. All right. Yeah, as you guys are just chatting, heading down the river, like I said, there's just this kind of diffused haze of light. So the sun must be out if you're like above the fog. But day goes on, you guys are chatting, ghost stories, burial rites, things like that. Honestly, pretty good bonding material, so, surprisingly enough. Who knew? You just had to be on the equivalent of an airplane.
Mhm.
But you pass through, like as the day goes on, you guys are passing through some pretty thick swamp weed that's just like sort of choking parts of the river. Um, and in fact, some of it is so thick that the boat lurches to a halt as you hit what feels like mud. Um, what would you guys like to do?
We're gonna have to carry the boat.
I'm not carrying it through that.
Well, we can't exactly row it through that.
Uh,
And there's still trees sticking up intermittently.
Yeah.
I could take rope around tree and then bring back, and you could pull yourselves through. And then move to next tree and pull.
hmm.
Arms will probably hurt.
To be fair, it does seem like it lessens up a little bit. Maybe this is just where it gets naturally really, the river just widens to the point where it gets really shallow. But like even with as murky as it is, and normally this river is very murky, like you can actually see the bottom. It's like maybe 3 feet deep here right now. That's probably part of the problem. If
Is
you
it
like push the boat through it, it'll or pull it or however you want to do it, that'll probably fix the problem right now.
is it safe to say that I would be in my favorite terrain at this point?
I think so. What did we agree on?
Swamp.
Yes. Oh, have
But
been
does
very much. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, very
What
much.
the heck? I'm not trying to click it. Just
The Roll20 frustration is real.
oh my gosh, it for real is.
What
on our
what
next
are you
rest,
trying
I'm
to do?
swapping out control flames from Old Earth.
That's fair. What you trying to do, Bemmy?
I was just trying to read in more on,
Okay, I gotcha.
and it just wasn't opening. And there's no text in there. That's why. All right.
Do it.
Well, let me look at it here. Natural Explorer. There it is. Okay. Here, I will put the text in there right now. One sec. Grab character. Their characters, Bemmy. Oh, yeah, there is. Sweet. Okay. So yeah, your swamp. Make an intelligence wisdom. So yeah, what doesn't difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. Become lost except by magical means. Even when you're engaged in another activity while traveling, such as foraging and everything, you remain alert to danger. Okay.
The
So
difficult terrain certainly could apply here. I don't know.
it
Yeah.
could apply. I would say, Bemmy, like in this instance, I would say the application here is like, okay, it's not going to slow our travel because we get out and push it for like maybe 20 feet until the river starts to get a little deeper, and then we hop back in. That's the
Yeah.
solution,
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
we'll say that's how it applies here. Is how to apply the solution.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair.
Let's see.
I'm just sitting here. I'm like, I know I should be really good at traveling in this. There's got to be something.
Yeah. So do you relay that? I assume you relay that advice. What does everybody want to do?
Ludger wants to go with the expert's opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, Purser will grumble and hop out.
Splish splash. Okay.
Here, Purser, do a little dance, squishing around in his big old pants.
Before I hop in the water, I'll like tie the like laces on the pant legs tight so it doesn't leak in.
Okay. Fair enough. That's a valid thing.
I'll
So
take my
this
coat
is
off as well.
more than halfway up my body. 3 feet.
Mhm.
This is gonna be so much fun. Ugh.
None of us are dwarves.
That's the important part. I'm remembering the Oscar in Heavy Snow where it was just like a
You just
periscope.
with the axe just picking out the top. Just
Yeah. Yeah, they were high enough level too where it was just like this dwarven periscope, which was just an axe sticking out of the snow as he would like charge towards things and hack them to bits.
it's very Jaws.
You just see like the line as he's meandering around trying to find something to fight.
Exactly. Yeah. Because it was well over his head. Yeah. So as you guys get out, the mud and weeds make it feel like you're trying to move through glue. It's just this sucks. But suddenly, springing out of the water are writhing tendrils of some sort. Everyone, give me an athletics check.
God damn it.
And
What
one
if we're
sec.
in the air?
You are okay.
Ah!
Good job.
Hey.
This never happens to me. Even when I am an athletic character.
Hey, you know what? A win is a win. So yeah, everybody passes. That is a good thing. 1 sec.
Initiative.
Such a pretty swamp.
Oh
I
god.
think so.
It's very nice.
I
Roll
hate it.
20.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Why is everything wet?
Incarnate comes through once again. But yeah, so it seems that something may be attacking you guys.
Ollie, what are you
And,
doing? Get out of there. Sorry.
If everyone would be kind enough to give me a initiative roll.
I suppose.
You don't have to.
I will not be subjecting Pearl to these conditions.
Fair enough.
Yo.
You ever given a cat a bath and then they just look at you afterwards?
Yes.
I imagine that's what would happen.
Yeah.
That means initiative stacking actually paid off for once.
It did.
There
It
you
also
go.
helped that I rolled a 16.
Okay. So, Bemmy, you know that these things are not fun. You've had to deal with them before. You also realize that, let me double check the wording here. Doesn't slow your group's travel. I'm gonna say group travel to me implies long distance travel. So this is still difficult terrain, especially since it's essentially magically induced. If this was natural, I would say, but yeah, since it just basically became difficult terrain. So the red square, difficult terrain. There you go.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, there is something mean there that apparently doesn't like you moving a boat through it. A lot of vines, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my kukri and start hacking away at these vines.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that
Okay.
definitely is.
And then dread ambusher, since this is I get a second attack. All right.
Yeah, and you are in dim light, so you are not blinded as usual. Swamp's not that bad.
Boop. It shouldn't be piercing. It should be slashing, but
That's
whatever.
fine. Yeah. Let me check something. Okay. Um, nice. Is that total damage?
Yeah, it'd be 13 points of damage total.
Okay, not bad, not bad for level 3. Honestly, I've had worse rolls at higher levels, which is embarrassing. All right. Okay. Yeah, you're hacking like you hack through a couple of these vines as they come out of the water, like trying to grab at you. And yeah, that is a good thing. Because you think you've heard of these assassin vines. They tend to restrain people and just either drown them or strangle them and like kind of use the bodies to fertilize the ground there. So it's a good thing none of you were restrained.
It is.
Uh, yeah. Anything else, Betty?
No, that is going to be all.
And you guys can like you would all those of you on the ground would all be around the boat, but Pick you can be where you want to be.
Probably just above the boat.
Okay. Ludger, what would you like to do?
Okay. I am going to open up with attacking with my crossbow.
Okay.
Okay. Does an 11 hit?
An 11 does not hit, as you're just kind of firing into the water reflex shots.
Okay. I will then follow up with a bonus attack for my. Actually, 1 second. I need to check something. Okay. Action search. Okay. I will do my bonus action to stab up with my bayonet,
Okay.
which also misses.
It does not
And
hit.
I'm going to do my action surge
Gives you
to
some further attack.
shoot it again with my bayonet. Sorry, with my crossbow.
Yep. That does hit.
18.
There you go. Yep.
Okay. Now that I actually landed a hit, I'm going to do distracting strike.
Cool.
as one of my maneuvers. So I'm gonna do that, and I will do that. Boom. Okay. That's 10 damage, and the next attack by an ally has advantage. Also, I'm going to post real quick action surge. Does that give me an additional bonus action? The wording's a bit
No,
confusing.
just an action.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just saying, I don't think so for that.
Okay.
Once I knew it. Right, yeah.
And I am my turn.
Of course, Dan beat me to the punch, but I actually knew that one. All right, so Persia, what would you like to do?
I'm just gonna start angrily hacking at it with my sword.
Fair
And you
enough.
have advantage.
With advantage. That is a
Ooh.
critical hit for 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? That's crit still. I mean, still fun crit. All right.
And
He'll be right back.
got a bonus action. And I will cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay. Nice.
And
Nice.
that's it.
All right. Satalis, what would you like to do?
Does this thing count as a creature?
It does.
Oh, good. I'm just gonna cast Toll the Dead on it
Okay.
because I have one trick.
I mean, you're a peace cleric. Makes sense. Okay, wisdom save. It's not super wise. And it does not pass.
8 necrotic.
Okay, kick ass. Yeah, it really doesn't like that.
Good.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it. That's my turn.
All right. Pick. What would you like to do?
Pew pew.
How did that happen? Did you roll really low?
I did.
Okay.
I will
Let's see
take
it.
my aim, my steady aim, because I'm not going to move. And then shoot.
Okay. 14 actually does hit. So 15 damage. Okay, yeah, it's definitely had some walloping on it. It doesn't like any of that. Anything else, Pick?
That's it. I'm so exciting.
Okay. This vine is upset. And let's see. Doesn't have great decision making. Who hurt it most?
Darn. I actually this might help. Because my second attack hit,
Mhm.
I should have done an extra 1d8 damage.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
All right.
And then I crit it if that factors into the decision as well.
I'm saying something like this. I'm thinking it's just gonna go off
Just going
who
pure
hurt me the
damage.
most. Yeah, pure damage. Okay, so that does simplify. Bemi, you are target.
Yep, there we go.
And yeah, sure. All right. 24, I assume that hits. Bemi?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it does.
So 14 bludgeoning and you are grappled.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no to that one. I will take Bemi's place. He
Okay.
needs to be free.
Okay. Hey, that's fair enough. So
Peacock, you gotta let him fly.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I like push him out of the way as the vines wrap around.
Okay. Nice. You are grappled, and
Yeah.
you feel there's a lot. Like, boy, these things have a lot of thorns. This may hurt.
Yep.
Yeah. So then we're gonna go to
You
Benny.
said it was 14 bludgeoning
It was
damage?
14 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. And we swap
Bemmy,
places, Bemmy.
Yeah. I'll move.
Yeah.
Bemmy, what'd you like to do? You were just shoved out of the way of this monstrous murder vine.
Purser, why?
Just kill it!
Actually, I want to see here. Does it work? I think it does, but I just want to make sure. Okay.
So the main reasoning behind that thinking is that I assume it's submerged enough to have fire resistance, so
Pretty sound
Purser's
assumption.
basically useless.
Yeah, no, we'll save that. I will do a bonus action Hunter's Mark,
Okay.
and I'm gonna hack at him again.
Okay.
Rid the kukri. Wow.
Yeah, I would say that doesn't quite connect. A lot of it we'll say is because you're trying to avoid like accidentally hacking into Purser, who's
Yeah.
lashing around as it's like half dragging him into the water.
And I can't even argue for flanking either because we're inside of a bush.
Yeah.
You don't. You do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he flanked? No, you're in it. So no.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's all I can do.
Okay. Ludger, what would you like to do?
Yeah,
It's got your friend.
Ludger's going to take another shot at it with his Catsy.
I feel like it's that meme.
Uh,
We're best friends. One shaking their head, one nodding. Like Purser. We're not friends. All right.
and that is a
11 does
miss.
not hit.
So let me do my bonus action.
That does hit. There you go.
Okay, I will once again do a use one of my superiority die for distracting attack to give the next person advantage. And yep, superiority dice is on, and boom, 8 damage.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that definitely hits. The sad part
And
is I just saw the meme you posted. Like you're actually conflating characters that Dan has played in my games. Like he did play a character with with Darkness'
Yeah.
style.
Purser is not masochistic in any way.
Yeah, like he legit played that character.
and I end my
Anyways.
turn.
All right. Speaking of which, what would you like to do?
So I'm currently grappled. I'm not restrained, am I?
You are not restrained. You just grapple.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start hacking away.
Fair enough.
Just like a demented lumberjack. Don't know why I opened up spells. There we go. 9 to hit.
Yeah, this is. I mean, makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
It's really hard to get your arms
So
in
I'm
the right
like
angles as you're being
getting like
strangled.
dragged underwater and thrashed around. I'm like, kill it! And that'll be it.
The aftertaste of the swamp water. All right. So, Citalis, what you like to do?
You know how many dead bodies are in this swamp water now.
A lot. Yeah.
What would it? Is it an action to try and free Purser?
I would
Hello?
say you could try and shove him, maybe. It would be athletics, I guess. That seems fair. Or you could just grab him and try. Yeah, it's still gonna end up in the same place where you're trying to pull him free of its grip. Grasp.
Uh. Huh.
It does seem really focused on him. Like you feel like it's probably not going to attack you if you back away. Let's just say.
We're just gonna toll the dead again. Why mess with a bad thing? A good
By
thing.
the way, I'm really, really sorry, but I forgot this. Purser, at the start of your turn, you took some damage.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
How much?
Purser would have gotten a 19 because I gave him the next attack as advantage. Probably
true.
not going to change. It's
You
not going
took
to change
16
anything, but
poison
that's 5.
damage, Purser, at the start of your turn.
16?
Yeah, 6d6 poison damage. It's an
Wow.
assassin vine. So he is I don't think the rapier applies.
No, it does not. Purser is unconscious.
So, Sigilis. Actually, Purser, give me a death saving throw. Well, why not?
Oh,
Oh no,
that's
wait.
fair,
Is
yeah.
that at the end of your turn, or is it? I think it's just when you go.
Death saves are at the start of turn.
Right.
Because if you
Okay.
get the 20, you stand up and get to take the turn as normal.
Right. So if at the start of your turn you were grappled, you took the damage. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Then I guess Sitalis. What would you like to do? Purser is not.
Toll the
He's not
dead.
thrashing around anymore.
We're gonna start with the action Toll the Dead, and then
All right.
bonus action Healing Word.
Okay. Hey. Nice. Oh shit.